Josh, another week and you've been linked with yet another club. It's Leicester this time around. How do you feel when you see things like that? You're getting linked with clubs like Leicester.
That's obviously exciting, but the first I've seen of it was on Twitter. My dad showed me it. It is still madness to myself, but can't focus on that too much. I know that, so we need to focus on the game on Sunday. But no, it is exciting, and obviously it's a confidence boost for myself and a big club like that. I seem to be interested in me.
What's that like for a young player then? Because there are big games for Hibs to come. How do you try and incubate yourself away from all that speculation when people, even like your dad, are showing you that?
Myself, I just try not to look at anything. I've kind of been like that since the start of the season on Twitter and all that stuff. Just trying to stay away from it and just focus on football. That's been my biggest aim, is just focus on the game and, games at the weekend, all focused towards that. And, it is the last 5 games now, and this is the big last push where we need to pick up as many points as we can to stay where we are in the league. So that's a very important game on Sunday. So definitely try and keep away from the Twitter stuff that's getting said.
We were speaking to the chairman during the week, and he was saying that he doesn't want to stand in anyone's way. He wants his club to develop players, and if they then want to move on, that's what he's willing to do. How does that make you feel when you hear that, and how key is actually staying and playing games in terms of your development too?
It's massive, obviously. It's a shock for myself playing this many games this season. It's a massive bonus for myself. I didn't expect this at all coming at the start of the season, but I heard Ron. It was a good interview. He said good things about myself, so it was very pleasing. But what's funny won't go by me. I've always said that, and I'm not looking too forward to summer. What's going to happen then? So I have just been focusing on the games that are coming and training because I'm loving it at the moment. So don't need to look too far ahead when you're enjoying it.
Well, you've got Rangers coming up and going to the Champions. How good is that for your development, and how much, given how close the games have been between the teams this season, do you feel that Hibs can go and get something this time?
Yeah, definitely. I feel we can go every time we've played against them. We've put in a brilliant effort, and we're unlucky to not take 3 points out of both the games that we've played. But no, it's a massive time. This is the big push now. This is where we could go on Sunday and take 3 points for this game, because we look fit in training. We've been sharp, so no, we're all focused and ready to go.
Josh, you say that you almost been shocked you've played this many games this season. When you broke into the team, did you have belief in your own ability that you could be so successful?
Yeah, I always had belief in myself. You need to have that to play at clubs like Hibs. But with players like Louis and even Sean Mackie in front of me, I just thought it would be impossible to break through them. But with injuries within themselves and stuff, I got lucky and had a few good pre-season friendlies as well that worked my way into the squad. So it is your luck as well with players getting injured and stuff. But no, I like to think it's down to my ability as well. Sometimes I've worked hard, and I feel like I do deserve it with all the work I've put in.
What do you think it is about left backs in Scotland? Why have we got such a bunch of ability in that left back position?
Could not tell you. God knows, but no, we have got so many. Tierney, Robertsons. It's madness. The bunch of left backs we have, but it's brilliant to look up to. Your Andy Robertsons and Tierneys and stuff, and you can try and base as much of your game off them as possible, because if they can do it, play at the highest level, coming from Scotland as well, that's the dream, that's the hope that you're driving towards.
Josh, can I ask you about the impact that Lewis Stevenson's had on this season for you? You've basically taken over a jersey that he has filled for the last 7 or 8 years. How has he helped you into becoming the player that you are now?
Every single week, it's just the tips and the pointers and the wee things before the game about who I'm going to be playing against. He's been absolutely massive for my development this season. I couldn't thank him enough. And all the experienced players, it's always just wee tips and things, because they've played the game for so long, and they've done it all. So no, to have so many experienced players at Hibs, it does help massively. But Louis has been brilliant with me. He's helped me through almost every game, just with pointers, and he's played against almost everyone I'm going to come up against. So he knows what I'll be coming up against. So he's been brilliant with the help for the game.
For the last 12 months, football has been very strange. But for you, I would assume it's been, the best 12 months of your short football career so far.
Yeah, it's just a normality for me, not playing in front of any fans. Last season with the 18s and the development squad, there was never any fans there. So it doesn't feel, obviously it feels like playing first team football, but I just can't wait to get the fans back in the stands. I think it'll be quite a shock to the system when they are back in. But I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for it.
What does the next 12 months hold for you?
I never try to look that far ahead, but just to keep playing. I know I'm still young. It's nothing's ever certain. So wherever I'm, as long as I'm playing football, playing games, I'll be happy.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh, we look a wee bit further ahead. How big would it be to have regular European football, and how important would that be in your development?
Massive, absolutely massive. To play against teams from all over the world, it's something that you can only help your game and help your ability and push you forward, and physically as well. Teams from other countries are always bigger, and in Scotland, you have to be physical as well. But no, it'd be brilliant, and such a big competition as well. So to try and keep in Europe and keep playing games in it, it's brilliant. Financially as well, you reap the rewards. So that's why it's very important is to keep going this season and try and get into it.
So the third place is the potential, depending on what happens with the cups, of delivering European football right the way through to December. Aside from the fact that third place, it hasn't been something that Hibs have managed to achieve all that much over in recent history. I mean, how big, how important is it to hold on to this position for you?
Absolutely massive for myself and everyone at the club. It's such a big thing for the club. So we're all just, there's a focus now. You can feel it within the building, within training and stuff. There is a massive focus and an energy towards pushing and keeping this third place, because we know how big it is. We've worked hard all season. The boys deserve it. So now it's just the big push to get it.
Hi Josh, I remember when you were sort of playing a lot of pre-season friendlies and stuff in and around the squad. I messaged someone at the club and sort of said they compared you to Paul Hanlon, sort of like a centre back who can play left back. And as the seasons went on, you've obviously done really well at left back. Is it, first thing, is that a comparison you'd agree with? And secondly, do you sort of see your position as left back now after how well you've done this season?
Last season I was always centre half, which was I loved it in there because I was tall, but I always felt quite mobile. I always felt quite fast, but I felt centre half. I felt composed in the ball, but I never had much running to do because I'd always had so much energy. So pre-season, when the first game I played actual left wing back was against St Mirren, I remember just thinking, just run, all I'd done the whole game was just run, and I absolutely loved it. So from there, I sort of pushed out in that left back position. But I've came in and out of left back, all through my life really, from a young age. I started as a left winger, because I've always just had so much energy to run about. But, even when I was 13, 14, I was still playing left back. Then I went to centre mid. I think I was striker at one point. I think I've played everywhere. But, no, I enjoy left wing back and left back just because, so much running. But as I get older, if my legs tire out, I might be to look into centre half if that's what comes around.
Cheers, Brian.
Josh, you spoke about not playing in front of fans. When's the last time you played in front of a crowd?
It would have been Queen's Park at Hampden. They got about 1,000 fans in, but at Hampden it's so big, so you can hardly even notice them. It's crazy. But no, it would have been Queen's Park, the last home game. I can't remember what it would have been. But that would have been the last time. But still, okay. I thought 1,000 fans at Hampden was the biggest thing ever. I was loving it. But I can imagine a packed Hampden, how good that would be. So that's something to aim for as well.
I guess the next part of your development is playing in front of packed houses and full stadiums.
Yeah, definitely. Try and learn to take the abuse as well. Comes with it.
Cheers.
Josh, I suppose with that in mind, sort of next season perhaps, even though this one's been a big one for you, next season, if you want to call it proper football in front of crowds and stuff, is going to be the real test for you.
Yeah, I've joked with the assistant manager about it that I might crumble, but hopefully I won't. Hopefully I'll be able to keep my game as high as the level as high as it can be. But no, I'm generally just looking forward to it. Obviously I'm nervous about it, but I can't wait for them to get back in and you know, it'll be a new experience for myself. It'll just be like almost like another total game, because I know fans can motivate you massively. So I'm looking forward to it.
But this weekend you'll be gutted James Tavernier isn't playing with the game you had against him last time.
Yeah, no, but you know, whoever it'll be, I know it'll be a hard game. You know, hard Rangers work, so it'll be a very tough game. So we don't need to go in with maximum effort and need to put a good 90 in and try and come away with something.
Josh, you've chipped in with a couple of assists this season, especially in the last game in the league against Livingston. Is that something that you're working on in the training ground and something you're trying to add to your game? Yeah,
I know. Playing left wing back, you're only really out ball in the wide area, so it is up to me to try and get as many assists and create as many chances as I can. I still feel I could have done more, but start of the season playing more left back, it's not as easy to get up the pitch. But no, I felt something more during the end of the season that I've sort of brought to my game, and I'm trying to get as many shots away as possible now. And some of them are going all over the place, but it's something I'm working on, because can't beat scoring goals. It's something that from a left wing back position as possible, try to cut inside them right as well. So just putting as much work into it as I can now. My crossing, my shooting, everything from the top side of the pitch, because I'm not really used to being up there. It's a scary place for me. So just getting used to it and trying to get as much attacking threat as possible.
How helpful is Lewis Stevenson been in that, trying to guide you through and add that to your game, and the manager as well, Jack Ross? Is he kind of encouraging you to get forward as much as you can?
Yeah, there's a lot of focus towards it in training. Putting balls in. Louis gave me tips, because Louis' deliveries are brilliant. I know that. So if I can take tips off him and try and base my crossing off him, it can only help me. But it's more just positioning, how to get the cross in and stuff, and my feet, try to sort them out a wee bit. But hopefully it'll all come together soon.